What's up YouTube? Dougie Chong here. Hope you have your popcorn ready because in today's episode, we're going to be reviewing Netflix stock. The company Netflix probably needs no introduction, but they are a content streaming company very similar to YouTube, but without the advertisements, much bigger budget production films, and then a monthly subscription fee. So in this video, I'm going to be giving my personal experience with Netflix. I'm going to do a little technical analysis and look at the financials of the company, and then I'm going to give my opinion on the stock. Alright, so the company Netflix was founded in the year 1998. I actually thought it was a lot newer than this, but it was actually founded in that year because the founder got a late fee from Blockbuster and wanted to start their own no late fee streaming service. Actually, at the beginning, their business was not even a streaming service. They would send DVDs by mail. And look where we are today. Netflix is worth nearly $200 billion and Blockbuster is bankrupt. I bet Blockbuster regrets giving that Netflix founder that little late DVD fee. Blockbuster also had the chance to acquire Netflix for $50 million back in the year 2000, but they passed on that opportunity, and of course, they are bankrupt today. Alright, to understand the business models of any of these streaming services such as Hulu and Netflix, you have to understand how the rights to popular TV shows and movies is obtained. Basically, Netflix will go to the creators of the content, whether it be Sony, Disney, or whoever, and they'll pay a large amount of money so that they have the rights to stream that content for a specified period of time. It's getting harder for Netflix to get the streaming rights to certain TV shows and movies because the creators of this content are coming out with their own streaming services themselves. But Netflix has somewhat mitigated this effect by creating their own original content, which has gained quite a lot of popularity in recent days. Before I continue the video, I'll mention that I do not personally have a Netflix account, nor do I use the account of someone else. That's also a possibility because I think you're allowed up to 4 devices at a time per Netflix account. I really don't watch enough TV shows or movies to really make it worth it. I watch about Kim's Convenience on CBC for free, and that's about it for now. I also know that if I had the service, I would be binging TV shows left, right, and center. I would not be very productive. An interesting fact about Netflix is that they have actually entire teams of people dedicated to making the user experience easier for people to binge watch TV shows. Everything from button placement to the color of buttons and what they recommend next has been carefully examined, so maybe take a look into some of these details the next time you are watching Netflix. That being said, I have watched a few movies and TV shows on Netflix. I even watched one Black Mirror episode that was like a choose your own adventure thing that was pretty neat for a TV show. And then I looked up the price of this subscription service here in Canada. It says it starts at $9.99. I don't know what the starter compared to the more advanced plan is, but for $9.99 for a lot of great original content, that's a pretty good deal, I think. Compare that to the price of about $40 or $50 for cable television, and it's easy to see why a lot of people are switching to Netflix nowadays. Alright, so that sums up my experience with Netflix. I don't personally own the service, but I have used it in the past and do enjoy it watching a Netflix movie or a TV show from time to time. I'll actually add one more thing about the company Netflix, and that's that I read an article about them and that they have a very cutthroat culture. Basically, they are very performance based, and instead of kind of helping the employees they have kind of set policies where every few months they'll kind of look around and see if they would not fight to keep this employee, then they kind of let them go. I wonder how much of this company culture affected their success, but in my opinion, I don't think this is a very healthy way to grow a company. Again, this is just based off of an article I read. Leave it in the comments below if you know something else about the Netflix work culture. Alright, now let's look at the 1-year price chart for Netflix stock. It's actually a pretty wild stock chart. It's been as high as about $440 and as low as about $265. So it's pretty close to its all-time high, which is usually not the most ideal time to buy a stock. Zooming back to the 5-year chart, you can see that in 2018 it was also close to that $400, a little higher than $400 price range, and then it sharply dropped. This was the time I first started looking at Netflix and started really believing in their business model. Before that, it was really unclear whether the streaming service would be sustainable. But as of now, it is clear that Netflix is the market leader in streaming services. They have a lot of competitors up and coming, but it's important to note that when you're the market leader, you have a lot of momentum and it's harder for competitors to steal market share from you. Alright, so looking at the market cap of Netflix, it's at about $185 billion, which is pretty big for a company, but it's not quite at that $1 trillion mark that a lot of other companies such as Amazon and Google have surpassed. So it certainly has room to grow. It all depends on if they can get more people to use their streaming service. And looking at their P/E ratio, it's at 85, which is pretty high. It's not quite as high as Amazon's, which is like 100 and something, but 85 is still pretty high. It's that high just because it's a growth company and they're predicting a lot of growth in their near to short term future. I also found it pretty impressive how Netflix found its way into an urban catchphrase. The term Netflix and chill is widely used nowadays. It's not Hulu and chill, but Netflix and chill. Anytime a company's name makes its way into the general population's vocabulary, it's typically a good thing. Such as when Uber just became part of everyone's sayings. They just say take an Uber everywhere. Not use the Uber app and call a car, but just Uber somewhere. I also found it pretty impressive how Netflix managed to squeeze its name into an acronym with other huge mega cap tech companies. These other companies include Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. Together they create FANG. But looking at the charts, Amazon is about $1 trillion in market cap. Google is also close to that $1 trillion mark. Facebook is at about $500 billion and growing pretty quickly. And then Netflix is not even $200 billion. So how they get incorporated with all those other big names, that's kind of beyond me, but there it is. Alright, so looking at the balance sheet of a company like Netflix is not too important because they are a fast growing company and a lot of their future revenues will change from what they have reported in the past. But we'll just take a look, make sure they have enough cash to survive in the near to short term future, which I largely expect that they do. Alright, so looking at the total current assets of Netflix, they have about $6.1 billion, and about $5 billion of that is in straight cash. And then their current liabilities stand at about $6.9 billion, which is just a little more than their current assets, but not that much more. And then their total assets are about $34 billion, whereas their total liabilities is only $26 billion. So clearly they have more assets than liabilities, and they are well positioned to pay off their debts and survive in the near term future. This was to be expected, but it's always good to kind of double check the balance sheet, make sure all their numbers check out. Alright, so now I'll get into my opinion on whether I think Netflix is a buy now. Again, this is just my opinion, this is not legal financial advice. I am not a licensed financial advisor. But in my opinion, I don't think that Netflix is a buy right now. I really believe in their business and their business model going into the future, but I think it's just valued a little too high right now. It's a little too close to that all-time high. I passed on it back in 2018, and I think I'll pass on it again until it comes down more in price. They're getting a huge boost in new users right now just because of the health crisis that's going on, but I don't think that will sustain in the near-term future. Of course, I could be wrong, like I was wrong with Shopify stock. It rocketed from about $500 to $800. I kind of missed out on that opportunity, but that's how it goes sometimes. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think Netflix is a buy now, or do you think it's a bit too overvalued? I do like the stock a lot better than a stock like Cineplex, however. I'll end the video off with a brief update of my simulated stock trading portfolio. I did make a few big moves. I'll also add that I post all my trades on the Discord chat. I'll leave a link in the description below. But in the last 7 days, I bought 25 shares of ExxonMobil at about $39.40. It's now trading around $42. I sold 2 shares of Google stock for $1,270 each. It has since come down a bit in price, but I thought I was just getting a little too overvalued a little too quickly. It was at about 20% gains in a matter of a few weeks. I then bought about 10 more shares of 3M stock at about $143.78. And then I bought 25 more shares of ExxonMobil stock at about $39.79. That's because it came down from being about $43 back down to this $39 range. I bought a few more shares. The total account value is hovering around $92,000 and I still have about $44,000 left to deploy, but I'm kind of waiting for the market to come down a bit more and then I will deploy more money and get to that about 20% cash threshold. That's it for this video, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you learned a lot about Netflix stock. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. Please leave a like if this video helped you at all, and don't forget to subscribe if you have not already. As always, have a wonderful Wednesday and see you in the next video.